Make sure you wake up early so you don't miss a thing. Family Life Mornings.
It's a fact that 2 out of 3 Family Life morning show hosts like coffee. And however, I'm not sure about the biscotti thing. You know, that little cookie biscuit kind of thing. I'm okay with biscotti. I'm not a huge fan. I don't go out of my way. Do you like biscotti, Terese?
I'm more of a fan of my husband Scotty than of biscotti.
Biscotti, right. Well, anyway, an airline in Australia has come up with a brilliant idea where a coffee cup is made out of biscotti. And it's leak proof. And so you have your coffee in the cup made of biscotti. And then at the end, you just eat your coffee cup and it's all gone. So the coffee cup disappears. So it's a wonderful, wonderful idea, I think.
If you take a really long time, though, if you're like a person that nurses a cup of coffee for like an hour, I would think it would like get soggy.
I would
like
think,
I have to hurry up
true.
and drink my coffee because my cup is leaking.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, just a great idea to have the coffee cup disappear. I'm not sure if it's a new idea because I think I've had some luggage made out of biscotti.
The airlines does it.
We're so glad you're waking up with Family Life Mornings. It's nice to start a day with you. We're Family Life.
You really have to think about whether or not you want to have a tree because if you have a cat or a dog, chances are your tree's going to end up undecorated or sideways on the floor, right? It's just the way it is. But some pretty creative people online have come up with some solid solutions that are going viral. This one family has a mini tree. They keep it in a cage so that the dog and the cat can't get to it. It's a little less festive, you know, the whole cage thing, but I get it. Another family keeps the dogs away by putting vacuum cleaners near the tree.
Oh, that's right. They'll stay away from
dogs don't like vacuums, right? And so it doesn't really go with the festive decor. But still, there's a tree online wrapped entirely in saran wrap. Which is good because that thing's going to keep till like 2024, right? Nice, and then a lot of people have trees hanging from the ceiling.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that.
Like upside down.
Yeah.
Maybe just a couple years without the tree. We'll see how that goes. Seems like an awful lot of work to keep your tree and your pet this Christmas. We feel your pain.
Yeah, but if you could just decorate those vacuum cleaners, you know. Nice.
That's a good plan.
A new day.
Full of new promise.
Thanks for letting us be a part of it. Family Life Mornings.
Hey, a little educational lesson this morning. I didn't know what this was, but it does have a name. It's called an acronym. That's a name aptly suited to its owner. For example, Sarah Blizzard is a meteorologist.
Oh, okay.
So you see what I'm going there.
Right, or she could make ice cream treats. Go ahead.
Okay, there you go. Right. Well, a horse in Washington has become an acronym. He got entangled in an active power line that fell.
Boy.
Fortunately, the horse is okay, but the horse had already been named.
Okay.
And his name? Touch of Generator.
Seriously?
Seriously. So he is an acronym. But it got me to thinking of different acronyms. And the greatest one of them all, Jesus. It means Savior. And that's what he does.
Start your day with 3 good eggs who go over easy. It's Steve, Terese, and Randy on Family Life. A friend you can turn to.
Next time you look at a picture from the Civil War, you know, you look in a book or something, and I never noticed this before. Maybe you have, Randy, because I know you're into the war books and war stories and movies and those kind of things. Look at the picture carefully and see if you see anyone with lighter hair or even blonde hair. Chances are very few, if any, and here's why. I didn't realize this. They were digging up some Civil War artifacts, and they found it in central Kentucky at a camp there. And they found the remnants of a 150-year-old photography studio, and in there it contained a lot of hair dye. Because they said in the photography back then, if you had light-colored hair or even blonde hair, it looked like you had white hair or gray hair. And so the soldiers didn't want that, so they used hair dye for the pictures and things back in the Civil War. I'm just glad that they didn't have things like our current cameras have, like filters. Otherwise, you see the soldiers in like little bunny ears and cat ears, and that would have ruined the whole effect.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have felt as safe.
They don't need a request to be your friend. They already are. Steve, Terese, and Randy on Family Life. A friend you can turn to.
Many families have heirlooms, maybe a piece of jewelry or a watch.
Do you have one?
No. Don't have one.
We have a peanut butter pie recipe. That's our
See,
heirloom.
A recipe is another thing that can happen. And this is actually more than a recipe. A family in Michigan has a 141-year-old heirloom. It happened, and it dealt with the recipe. When they first made it to honor this family member, the family member passed away before they could eat the recipe. So they've kept the recipe. But the actual, not just the recipe, the actual product that was made.
Like they made the thing and they've kept it for how long?
141 years. What could last 141 years around Christmas time that some people won't even touch?
Oh, I know what it is.
Go ahead.
It's a doorstop.
Yes, it is. It's a doorstop disguised as a fruitcake. It's an actual fruitcake, and they have kept that actual fruitcake.
Wow.
Yeah, and right now it's currently under an antique glass dish on top shelf of a china cabinet. So there you go.
Wait, way up on top of the china cabinet?
Right.
How are we going to get it to have a slice?
I think that's the reason it's up there. I'm wondering if it's an heirloom or they just don't want to touch it.
Starting your day with a smile and a dose of encouragement, too. Family Life Mornings.
All this snow and ice will be out of there in July, and we'll be celebrating the 244th birthday of the United States of America.
Right.
I had no idea that something is 25 years older. Something living is 25 years older than the U.S.
Still living now?
Still living now. They have found a whale who's still alive, who's now 25 years older than the United States.
That's
I didn't know whales
amazing.
lived that long.
I didn't know whales had birth certificates that they could check.
Well, no, they have checked because they can drive. They have to take driver's tests every once in a while. So think of July 4th when it's warmer. That makes you feel good.
Yeah.
And when all of a sudden they're saying, the United States of America is celebrating 244 years, just know there's some whale out there going, oh, that's not a big deal.
That's how whales talk?
I think, ooh, how do whales talk?
It's not a big deal.
Well, bet you when you woke up this morning, you didn't think you'd hear whales talk on Family Life Mornings.
It's Steve, Terese, and Randy on Family Life. A friend you can turn to.
This Christmas, you can hire a grandma.
Really?
Can you imagine hiring a grandma? This is the ad, an online ad. She says, I'd be glad to cook for Christmas dinner. I promise to bring gifts for the kids. I just don't want to be alone for another Christmas. Wow. What an opportunity you have. Look around at the people in your lives. Find out who is going to be alone for Christmas and then invite them to be a part of your family. Everyone needs a little bit of family this holiday season.
Family Life Mornings with Steve, Terese, and Randy. Thanks for making us part of your day. We're a friend you can turn to.
Not sure what you have on your Christmas tree, but believe it or not, some people put a pickle ornament. Yes, a green pickle ornament. Tradition goes that it's because it's green, it's hard to see, so the child, perhaps that finds it first, gets a present. So that's kind of the tradition. Now, where it started from, there's several different things. The most popular is that there were glass ornaments imported from Germany. But despite all this, I want to go. My next Christmas vacation destination is going to be Berrien Springs, Michigan, the Christmas pickle capital of the world. Yes, there is one, and they relish that title. Boom. You were waiting for that one. But actually, there's a parade. There's a parade every year led by the Grand Dillmeister. Imagine. I mean, they actually named this guy.
Yeah, you know what they say about
Well,
him.
yeah, he's a really big deal. I knew you were going to say that. So all these things, so these things happen. But, in that town, I would think that if you get in trouble, it would be a good thing. Because usually you say, you're in a pickle. That's a bad thing. But in Berrien Springs, Michigan, it's a good thing.
A fresh start
A fresh cup of coffee
and fresh perspective.
from Family Life Mornings.
Terese, didn't you tell a story yesterday about Christmas
Yeah,
sweaters
there's
on
a
cows and
dairy
stuff?
farm that's so into Christmas that first of all, the cows are named things like Carol and Holly and things like
Cute.
that. And then they have these sweaters that they put on the cows, which it's got to be a cardigan because I don't know how you get like the hooves in on a pullover.
You don't want to do that. As a matter of fact, and Brandon, we got a text from the Reverend Neil and Kathy Samborski, who thought the best greeting or the best thing the cow should say would be, "We wish you a dairy Christmas and a happy Moo Year." That's kind of clever. I like that.
Merry Christmas. We wish you
Okay,
a dairy.
and so in honor of Reverend Neil
really
and Kathy, they are milking it. So we thought we'd bring this story today of the sweaters for the chickens. They have sweaters for chickens now. And they work very, very hard around. They do it around the clock. They work around the clock. They work. Now they have to get it done because they could talk about it all day, but as you know, talk is cheap. Cheap. And then once they're done and they all have their sweaters on the chickens, they go out to see a movie. You know what kind of movie they go see?
Which one would that be?
Come on, Terese.
It's a chick flick.
It's a chick flick.
Where is that pastor from?
Malawi.
I wonder how much a ticket is to send you there.
He's such a short-term missionary. You want me there long-term.
You'll always wake up on the right side of the bed when you start your day with Steve, Terese, and Randy on Family Life, a friend you can turn to.
I'll bet you the people in Macomb, Mississippi, although I've never been there, they seem to have joy. I like those folks and what they're doing. Now, not unlike any other city in America this time of year and in the coming months, they have potholes.
Right.
Potholes happen. But instead of whining and complaining, although maybe some people are, there's someone who's put a Christmas tree right in one of the potholes. So instead of maybe seeing a traffic cone around there, they're seeing pine cones and all different kinds of ornaments on the Christmas tree.
So they decorated it too.
They decorate. People stop by and put decorations on the tree. It's right in the pothole. So I think that's really, really cool. It's a great thing. It has to smile. Maybe not as cute as seeing a bunch of baby ducks crossing the street or something like that, but this is still pretty cute. They are filled with joy in Macomb, Mississippi.
Yeah.
We know you have lots of choices. Thank you for picking Family Life Mornings.
Well, airplane food is becoming more and more non-existent, and when it is served on a flight, it usually doesn't get a 5-star review. You know, it's just not that great, unless you fly Air Asia. In fact, their food is so good, a restaurant with the same name meal brand that the airline uses has opened. They opened because Air Asia's customers demand for the food. They love it. And this restaurant serves the same food you would get on the plane. And in fact, many flyers order takeout while they are on the plane.
Wow.
Now, obviously, they can't go anywhere while they're in the air. But they order the takeout for when they land because they know their family is going to want to eat the same meal.
So there's a restaurant
Yes.
that serves the airline food.
Yeah.
Wow. Hope their bathrooms are bigger.
Oh.
Because 3 hosts are better than 1, or 2 for that matter. This is Family Life, and we are a friend you can turn to.
We're all guilty of singing songs, whether they be Christmas carols or other songs sometimes, and not really knowing exactly what we're singing. We sing the words, but it's like, what does that really mean? And so this time of year, when you're singing Deck the Halls, why are you trolling? You sing Troll the Ancient Yuletide Carol. And in current phrase, trolling is not a good thing. Trolling is there's mean people on the internet who troll. And that obviously the internet wasn't around when Deck the Halls. By the way, troll just means to sing loudly and clearly. So that person behind you who's singing loudly and clearly, you can just say,
What a troll.
Hey, you're trolling. and by the way, when you're singing Away in a Manger, the kids, hey kids, the cattles aren't lonely. They're lowing. Yeah. They're not lonely at all. They're having a good time, all right?
Positive attitudes? Check. Uplifting music? Check. Friendly company? Check. It's Family Life Mornings with Steve, Terese, and Randy.
You know there's a holiday on Wednesday.
Well, yeah, that's Christmas Day.
Obvious.
Yeah.
And then
right.
on Tuesday.
Well, it's Christmas Eve, right.
Right.
Yep.
And on Monday.
It's the day before Christmas
Eve.
Yeah, Eve squared, right?
No, what came before Eve? Adam. It's Christmas Adam.
Is that... Well, you just make this
No.
up? You're making this up.
It's like something that people started like almost a decade ago. People started talking about Christmas Adam. Now there's not any like actual traditions. It's just kind of a funny like, did Christmas
funny,
get it
that's
before
cute.
the Eve, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But then I was thinking maybe we should have, like special dinner. You know, like what would you serve at a Christmas Adam?
I'm going with that. Well, apple.
Apple,
Yeah, Adam's
yeah.
apple.
Yeah.
Right?
Apple pie would be great.
Right,
Yeah.
apple.
Yeah, and
That's
for the
only
main
thing.
course,
What?
ribs.
Oh, I get it. It's like Adam would be there like, hey, what happened to my rib?
Always like
Over here.
you're one rib short of a full rack.
Thanks for making us a part of your day. We're a friend you can turn to. Family Life.